Yo, welcome to the Empty Room, everybody. It's your boy Sid Devon the Mogul, and I'm back with another episode of I Don't Want to Talk About It. And I got my fellas back in the room with me. I got my homie Eric Ingram, my new brother, Mr. Mike Love, and I got my boy, my superstar, Alan Pullers, man. Bay is back in the background.
Producer Bay.
Producer Bay. That's who she is.
Bay.
So, on today's episode, man, we're going to get into a topic, man, I think that needs to be talked about, especially in our culture nowadays. We're going to be talking about, I'm pretty sure you guys have heard the term, I am woman, hear me roar. And again, I need to make this disclaimer. I am not attacking women in this episode. I love women so much, okay? We all do.
Yes.
We all are in relationships, happily married men, okay? Happily married men.
I love women. Women. Well, I love one woman.
Exactly. There you go.
I'm married.
Make it plain,
I love
sir.
one woman.
Make it plain, man.
We all love one
she
woman.
Watch this,
She's definitely watching.
And she will cut you.
Absolutely. So this episode is going to be entitled, I am man, but am I still needed? We live in a culture nowadays where the world has literally tried to make men believe that they're no longer needed, wanted, and in doing so, we have completely wrecked our foundation, I believe. I truly believe that the world is in the state it is in right now is simply due to the fact that men have been pushed out of their place, their rightful places. And I know we don't like the term roles in this culture, but truthfully, if we're being real, we're all believers here. There was definitely roles in the beginning. Am I wrong?
Oh, for sure.
Definitely roles. So I am here, and these guys who got so much wisdom and so much wisdom. Listen, I think all of them are older than me. I think I'm the youngest. I think I am. So I think it's a lot of wisdom that's gonna be sitting up here. Then they're gonna be able to give some fellas, even our men nowadays who are believing that it's just whatever. Don't nobody care. Don't nobody want me. And like I said, these spaces put men in some of the darkest of spaces, to the point where they're ending their own lives because of it. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so we want to do away with this stigma that culture has tried to put in place, man. We want to do that. We are men, and we understand that we're definitely needed. Okay? So, fellas, man, let's jump right in. What do you make of this culture? Like, and even let's start here. Where do you guys think it came from?
Social media.
Say it
That's
Say
social
again.
media. Oh my God, that's actually. But okay, I actually can get with that. I actually understand that, because let's be real. Back in the 50s, 60s, you wasn't hearing nothing about none of this stuff that was going on.
No, it wasn't publicized. No.
80, yeah.
And
It was
in the
definitely
90s,
publicized.
2000s, you wouldn't.
But
like,
why is that? So you think that
Probably.
publicizing pretty much has really
made it
just
louder.
it made it louder?
Yeah.
But what is the foundation of it? I guess what's the question is, like, where do let's be real. We gonna y'all know how I get. We gonna talk real. Why do women believe that they can live without us?
I think it's also in our community we've been seeing that, so I think it's a habit of that, seeing that, being out having our men, or minutes our men being locked up, right? Drugs,
That's it right there.
But mostly being locked up.
Go
Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, because the men weren't there, because they were locked up or doing other things. There was the single mothers that were raising all the kids and doing everything, so they were like, well, we're doing everything, so he's not here, so we got to be everything.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
They even showed
then see, here we go. The government rewarded them for not having
I agree.
the men in the household.
Jeez,
You get food
Louise.
stamps.
You
for
get
not having
food,
men
they
in the
took
home.
care of them, so
Yeah.
they're like, you know
That's
what?
heavy.
We're not gonna get better,
Yeah.
because if we get better, the government's gonna take the assistance that we
Exactly.
need, that we think we need to
I agree.
survive.
Man.
So that way, let's just stay the way we are. Not allow these men in our lives, because if we allow them in there, the government's gonna take out my
Right.
food stamps.
Yeah.
They're gonna take my aid.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna be able to get WIC.
So in so many words, it's almost like they gave them the look and the feel of independence, right?
Yeah.
Because here's the truth of the matter is, if the government was to take away, your money or anything like that they're giving you, if you had a man who was taking care of the household, you wouldn't have to worry about it anyway.
Right.
But I noticed,
But they didn't know that. like most of the people grew up without a father, because either the father was not in tune with the family. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All they did was, all I'm supposed to do is go to work, pay the bills, and come home, and go do what I'm supposed to do. Or there was no father in the household, and the mother had to take everything, and the government became their man.
Mm.
You know, the funny thing is, like, literally right before I got here, I was on social media, And one of my homegirls had posted something about how are men stepping to women that have low income, right? So, you know, people are commenting on there, but the men that are commenting, she's making comments that the men who are responding are the ones who have low income. But to get to my point was, her husband or boyfriend or whatever, baby daddy, now is incarcerated. So now she has to provide for her son, do everything on her own to maintain the lifestyle that she wants for herself and her child. Wow. Now, if another man is coming in, if she's already established, why do I need him? That's what the women's mindset. Why do I need him to come in when I'm already doing this on my own?
Yeah,
so
man.
that's crazy. This topic.
It
I
is.
just literally saw this.
Yeah, man. And before we go any further, like I told y'all, this season we're gonna be having different scenery. So this is something I've been wanting to tell people about. We are actually in my brother's Alan Pullen's mobile barber bus, right? And he actually is one of our sponsors.
Come on,
I want to
sponsors!
talk about it, man. So I am excited about this partnership. I've been knowing this man for about 5 to 6 years. Great brother, and I am so happy about this partnership. Listen, if you need a cut and you in the Detroit area, man, and you don't want to drive nowhere, he has a whole bus. He'll come to your house.
Yes, sir.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yes,
and the boy is tough. He has clientele from Jacquees to Michael Eric Dyson.
Yes.
The boy is tough, man. So if you in the
That boy
city,
famous.
he's famous.
That boy good.
We call him famous. That boy good.
I got my hair
He
cut
good.
by famous
You
man,
know what
so
I'm
I'm
saying?
good.
You know, we had a video of me of YouTube earlier when I had hair. The line was crazy.
He said-
The line was crazy. Even though they was talking about my forehead, but it's all right. We good. But to back to the point. So 5, right. So back to the point. Like, you know, in this society, man, the world is, I believe in, and it's the truth. I don't care how you slice it. The world is grieving men. You dig what I'm saying? They're grieving that masculinity. And here's the crazy thing. I had this thought of why it's like that, right? So let's be real. Men have more so moved out the way. Women have kind of claimed the masculine role in some sorts. They become the masters of industries and all these other things. And I gotta go here because of who I am. Okay, so if y'all want to cancel somebody, y'all can cancel me. It's perfectly fine. I'm not worried about it. I was at Hillbro recently, and we talked about one of the biggest things is that why men are killing themselves, and we got into some controversial stuff. Why men are killing themselves, but why men are wanting to be women is because there is a lack of wanting there. So women have become the it thing, right? They have become the it thing. Let's be 100 in the world. A lot of influence with women, right? And femininity, right?
Artists,
right?
Movies.
Exactly, artists, movies, all over the world.
You saw
culture.
Four Color Girls, that would probably break a man's soul.
You know what I mean? Exactly my point. And it's like, why? Why is that? Because we, as men, we want to be wanted, right? And sometimes that want will make us put ourselves in a position where we feel we can be more wanted, right? And so I feel as though that not only has culture, but men are falling out of place because of that want. They want to be needed. So they feel like if I go ahead and I can't beat them, so I might as well join them. You dig what I'm saying? Like, it's so sad. And like I said, I know we don't have a lot of podcasts that really go here, but I said I'm here to bring masculinity back. And like I said, I ain't afraid to say I'm a whole man. I'm a whole man. There's not a feminine bone in my body. And here's the truth of the matter is, I am in touch with my emotions because I am a man. Whoever told you that if you are too much in your emotions, or if you cry at the drop of a hat or anything, they say you're not a man, don't listen to nothing they're saying. Don't listen to anything they're saying. Real men cry. Real men are true with their emotions, and they're true with their feelings. That's just the truth.
They're just not overcoming ruled by their
emotions. Come on, that's all it is. But we are very in tune with our emotions. So my thing is, I want to get back to the space that outside, right? Outside of women, outside of jobs, outside of even culture wanting men, we have to want ourselves.
Yeah.
We have to want ourselves. Like, me and you talk about it all the time. The fact that I get to wake up in the morning and I'm a whole man, I'm sorry, that's the best feeling in the world. It just is, bro. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I get to wear the clothes that I wear. I get to dress the way I want. Me putting on cologne, you know, my all that stuff. Being able to walk out the house and just feel like, dude, I am that dude. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not a feeling like I know culture. They even try to, you know, when a man is all about their masculinity, what do they say it's about? Oh, that's toxic. It's toxic masculinity. That's, you know what I'm saying? Isn't that terrible though?
Yeah.
Like, you dig what I'm saying? Like, I can't even be a man and be happy about being a man,
Right.
and I gotta be toxic.
Right.
So I as you are, y'all my brothers. I hang around men, okay? I hang around men. These guys. This man's a whole mechanic. He don't look like it. But he a whole mechanic. I dig bro because he is a man, father, husband. He is one of the greatest. My boy Eric, I've known him for a little bit. Man, straight up man.
Real talk.
Straight up man. Husband, will be a father. We are speaking that into existence, sir.
Hey,
will be a father. My boy Pullins, Alan
sir.
Pullins is a man, father, husband, entrepreneur, and is a man. Straight up and down men. We are men. So I really want to take some time in this episode, and I'm going to do this every season, to make a space to brag about being a MAN.
Let's go.
Do you hear me?
Beat your chest.
So bro, what you tell, let him hang. Let him hang, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, let him hang, dog. Come on, man. So I want you guys to really tell me the best thing you love about being a man. I know it's hard.
No, that's not.
You know what I'm saying? But let
Let's
me
just
know.
narrow it down. Like,
You know what I'm
hard
saying?
thing. That's it.
I
know Eric got one.
Huh?
What you got, Eric?
Oh, shoot. What I love about being a man is just my first answer is that I'm not a woman. That I don't go through things women go through.
Yeah.
Like
I respect
they're
that.
like being with my wife and just the journey we've been on. Like I look at her and I'm like, golly, God made you different, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I'm on this side.
Yeah.
Because y'all be crazy.
Yeah.
But we love you. My amount of crazy that I love.
That's
so like,
beautiful, man.
and plus y'all have periods.
Yeah.
I don't want to have no
Not
period.
being 100,
That's
like,
real.
I ain't
Having
even
a-
gonna hold
what?
you.
That's real.
Yeah.
Cause mine when she
Like-
be like, you know, it's just the first. That thing be taking her. I be
Taking her, like,
taking them out. I be at the crib like,
I'd be like,
God.
I'd be like, thank you, Jesus.
and
Lord.
birth
Sit in the
too.
car in
We-
the driveway before you go in
You
the
know
house.
what I'm saying?
Listen,
You know what I'm saying?
Listen, we know how to maneuver
You
a certain
know?
way. Like
Yeah.
it's just different being a man. Like, and I love it. Like just and we don't have we have vulnerability, but it's not their level of vulnerability.
Yeah.
Like it's just a great thing, bro. That's all.
Yeah, Mike, come on, man.
I mean, mine's literally, I grew up with using my hands.
Yeah,
So as a man, you gotta be able to fix things. You gotta be able to,
absolutely.
you know, do certain things with your hands. And I feel like although this is what, you know, makes my money, but at the same time, like using my hands to fix stuff, doing things around the house that, you know, my wife may not know how to do or know how to do, but wants the man to be able to do it. And
Yeah.
you step in like,
You know what I mean? Stick it out, boy.
you know,
For
just
sure.
just having stuff, and then once it's like completed and you fix it, it's just like being a man, knowing like you did that. It's just,
It's
Yeah.
like it's
Like
your
it.
purpose. It's just we love. I think all men can say we just love what God's given us on our mantle. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? The calling that we have to I know this for a fact. Men love this. When your woman, I don't care what level of life she's at, money, no money, whatever. When she comes and consult with you about certain things,
Brother, do y'all hear that? Do y'all hear it? Do y'all hear that, man? I'm seriously though. Real talk. That's on everything,
people
bro.
men don't understand that. Like, I don't care if she's high up, vice president up, you know, all whatever. That call or that text or that middle of the night, even though you tired or that, you know, conversation y'all have as a man, and you able to give her that advice or pray with her or build her back up with
that's
some type of way that she needs. We love that. And that's just something that God given us the ability to do, and they know they love it too. But that's one of my favorite things to do, because I'm, you know, entrepreneurship. My wife we talk about business and things. I'm like, yeah, I'm listening to her ideas. I'm like, yeah, but then she may think, like when she's writing a book. Matter of fact, my wife was writing a book a couple years ago, and I don't know nothing about writing a book, but from my understanding, I know about outlining, and I'm like, well, do this and do that. So she was like, how do we do this? Don't do that. I'm like, well, let's sit down. Let's. What's the name of it? She gave me the name. I said, what's the want to be about? We put it in a circle. I said, we just made these little lines. And she was like, oh, you just gave me my whole book. But I don't know nothing about it.
I just wrote a book. Hey, make sure you put me executive producer at the bottom of this book.
That's what you know.
That part right there, just like giving her that little guiding point. And she was gone. After that, she wrote the whole thing. But I love that part. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's gonna be like with my daughters, but I definitely love that part. And I think any man can know that. It's like being needed in that part like that of your life, or just be like, oh, you got that, you got the knowledge, that wisdom to give them. Oh, it's
like you said, awesome. Especially when that's not your expertise.
Come on, man.
You don't like writing.
Oh, for sure.
I don't like writing.
Yeah.
But your wife coming to you and say, hey, read this over. You know, and you like, but you know this is not.
Yeah.
But she know you smart enough to do it. And that.
I mean, you know, it's my show, but you know,
you have episodes by yourself, right? But it's the belief that they have in you,
man.
That my man can do anything, even though it's not his level of expertise. I still believe he can do this. So if I say, "Oh, read this, help me write this book," I ain't never wrote no book, but know what? I believe you can do it because.
But that's the order God given us, right?
Yeah.
If we're on our knees praying and doing what we're supposed to do, right? We don't realize, they don't realize this though. The wisdom I have is not for myself.
No, it's not.
That's the Holy Spirit giving me that to give her and who else, you know what I'm saying? So that's why we have to be in order no matter what. Because it still gives us, if he gives us the insight, we can give it to them. And they should be able to love and get, I say praying too and also seeking. They'll be able to match it up like, okay, yeah, he's on target. Even though they may have, you know, some wife had a moment, maybe had a moment, they kind of want to, right. But you know, it's gonna make sense. It's gonna be a peace at the end of it, and it's gonna be like they'll submit to it.
Yeah.
And then they walk in there, and God gonna take over.
Man, listen, y'all, do y'all see this? This is exactly what I'm talking about right here. America, the world, there are still men out here. There are still proud men out here, and I understand exactly what you all are saying. Cause like being 100, everybody know a little bit of me and Tiffany's story. She's way further in life than I was. You know what I'm saying? Business owner, had millions done passed through her hands. But when it comes to business decisions that she's had to make, she done call me. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to give language like, well, let's do it like this and all that other stuff. But I think what it is, they love the covering.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's the covering of a man that, you know, and like I said, we live in a day and age where women like, I don't need a man for this, I don't need a man for that. But but then you look at your life and you're not as far as you could be. Because the truth of the matter is, I say it all the time, we need each other, man. Yeah, there is no reason why, and then, like you said, social media has and I'm blaming social media, yes. Social media has created a gender war. It's a whole gender war. It's literally women against men when that was never the intent. Never the intent. You came from me. You was a part of who I am. So the devil has done an excellent job, and I give the enemy his due. He's good at his job. He's been doing it long enough. But he's done an excellent job in deceiving us to think that we don't need each other. And that's exactly why the world is in the shape that it's in right now. I don't care how bad of a man you think you are. There is a reason why you need the Lord. The Bible clearly talks about it. He who findeth the wife findeth the good thing, right? He does. And he obtaineth favor. My job as a man is to lead that woman to the door, but she is the key to unlock it. I don't care what nobody says. You cannot do one without the other. You are going to live a limited life thinking that you don't need her or that she doesn't need you. So that's why I'm as men, what I'm trying to do with this whole podcast and with everything I do as far as ministry with men is that I'm trying to bring identity back to the world. We don't know who we are, so the world has no idea who they are.
Yeah.
We are the foundation. I don't care. I'm not putting pressure on men, but I'm waking y'all up because it's time for us to go back to our rightful spaces.
So, in that sense, is it really social media's fault?
I agree.
Or is it us not being walking in our identity?
I think social media is a catalyst. However,
like anything else in life.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it's us who have fed into the bull crap.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
So we need, as men, we need to start taking our rightful place, walking in our identity, and making sure that our brothers walking in identity.
Because that's one thing I talk about is my accountability.
Yeah.
I don't have any type of brother around me that's not gonna tell me it's straight.
Yeah.
Now you two, we've had discussions where y'all gotten like said, "Hey, bro, that's you. That's your whole fault. I don't care how upset she is. That was your fault.
That's your bad,
Like
mama.
you done took the candy, bro. You could have been chill and not did anything, but you made it a lot worse. And I know this man. I've had conversations. Me and him are just literally the same person. So I know for a fact that if I was ever to bring something to Mike, like Mike would be like, bro, that was your fault. I don't have, and like you said, accountability is very important. Mm-hmm. Because we have fallen out of place. There's a generation that's coming after us. You know what I'm saying? And my girlfriend has a prophetic gift. And she told me about a dream or an experience with God, and he told her, it was like, there's a reason why boys aren't really being born at this point in time, because there are no real men to raise them. Right? So I think that this is our job. It's our jobs to really get back into our spaces where we can, because like I said, we're not going to live forever. You know what I'm saying? But we need to start building up foundation so that when we are going, like, it was nothing back in those days that if a father was to pass, that a son wasn't ready to take that role. Why? Because there were good men that was given impartation, because they understand, like, yo, I'm not going to be here forever. So you're going to have to take that mantle up.
So to add on that, though, and my question to everybody is, do you think the rules of what a man's supposed to be doing and what we're able to do has changed? Because if we say now, I just use T. Jenks, he used a good topic. He was saying that the rules or the way that man's supposed to be is different from, 40, 30 years ago. It was easy. Go to work, provide, provision, bring home the bacon, right? Today, we have a lot more hats to wear. Yeah. So I think, do you think that men, we don't know how to, with the outlook of the world, how they're given all these different hats, do we have to take all these hats? Does it depend on the women we're with? Does it depend on, you see what I'm saying?
That's good stuff.
Because now that makes a man depressed. So say if I'm single and I'm in this time, I'm looking at Instagram, I'm just like, golly, they want me to have this. I gotta have my money right. I gotta be this. I ain't that tall, but then I'm bald and thin. You see what I'm saying? There's so many different things. You know what I'm saying?
I can't go to Cheesecake.
Right, can't go to Cheesecake Factory, Applebee's.
Like, what is that about?
Absolutely nuts, man.
That puts a stress and strain as a man. And then, okay, I say this big one. Now look at our rappers. They're wearing nail polish.
Dog.
You know what I'm saying? They wearing skirts and dresses, and it's
but that's why I was saying, like, you go towards what is wanted. And as much as men are like, well, I'm hard, I don't really need nobody. And first of all, anytime a man tells me that, I'm like, bro, you still heard about something. Because if you think for one instance that I don't need nobody, you out your mind.
Right.
I know that's a trauma response, but like I said, you go back to what's wanted. Femininity is the it thing. Let's call it what it is. That's because the way culture has set everything up. You dig what I'm saying? But it's not. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with femininity. However, what I am saying is there has to be a balance. There has to be a balance. There has to be a balance between that masculine. Like I said, we're not talking about, masculine is nothing more than an adjective. That's all it is. It doesn't make you a man because you're masculine. That's not the only thing that makes you a man. Like, that's something I had to learn within the last year of my life. Like, I thought if I was hard, that's what made me a man. But it was in times where I could literally break down in prayer, where I felt the most masculine. I'm like, okay, God, I got it off my chest. I'm good. I can go on. I'm straight. And that's when God was like, yo, that's what really, man, Jesus is the strongest example of a man that anybody could ever follow.
Yeah.
It says in the Bible that this man done wept. This man done got angry. He was very in touch with his emotions. You dig what I'm saying?
He wanted to give up.
And come on, man. He definitely wanted to give up. And that's just literally what it is, man.
And he doubted.
Come on. So I think it's funny that you said that, because I just literally, he is the GOAT of GOATs. Miles Monroe, we miss you.
For sure.
And we definitely need you right now. Like, God knew, but
I mean,
he
his message is always gonna be here, but God is like, who's next?
Right.
Like, it's not.
Yeah.
We can't put him on a pedestal.
Right.
I think say we need him now, but when he did his work.
Right.
And he left it here, and now maybe it's Sydney that is coming through like,
It is.
Yeah.
you know what? This is the mantle I'm taking up to uplift the men.
Right.
Not in a chauvinistic way, but in a take your rightful place.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Just
To
a
answer-
blueprint somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
But to answer your question, bro, Miles Morales did it. It was a 2-day event that he did long ago, and he was talking about that very thing.
Mhm.
He said back in those days, it was nothing for a man to get the bacon, bring it home, cook it. Nowadays, the women own the pig, they own the houses, they own everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for men to find their place, and that's the problem. We don't know. Things have changed so much. However, what I had to learn from my own experience is that not having bacon, even though providing is a big thing for me. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes us us. I understand that. But if you was to lose your job today, you're still a man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what we need to understand. Okay, she got the house. Okay, what that mean? That makes her more of a man than me? No, sir. It does not. You were a man when you came out the womb. Can't nobody take that away from you. Even though, shut up, Sydney.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Because
modern science
modern science can definitely take away manhood for some reason,
down
which
to-
is absolutely crazy.
You shoot down to Brazil.
You know what I'm saying? Like, get dog. It's the ugliest thing, but truthfully, like, you're still a man outside of all of that. So to answer your question, I don't like you said. I think it's all situational.
Mhm.
I do think it's all situational because at the end of the day, when you're in a relationship with a woman, it's a team thing. I played ball for 4 years.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I understand that where she may be great, she also has weak attributes in her arsenal,
100%.
Mm-hmm.
which may be my strengths.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't make her the head of the house. She could never be that. She could never be a foundation of a household.
Right.
She ain't got the build for it. There's a reason why God gave us broader shoulders, man. It's a signification that you guys are able to handle a little bit more.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying? And so it's about being in place and being comfortable in your place. You said it, Mike. One of the biggest things that men shy away from is responsibility.
Big facts.
Why?
So let me ask this question then. So say if you grow up in a home, you're a male, a boy. Your dad's gone, whatever happened to him.
Mm.
Your mother naturally puts a responsibility on you, and you don't even know yourself yet.
Right.
Now you're 16, 15, 13, wherever you are. And now you automatically getting this pressure from your mom because you want to either help out or you either want to be, like, oh, damn, I need to be the man now. You don't know how to do it, but then that pressure you get at home, and then you find somebody you like, doesn't that turn into something else later down the road?
So I'll go ahead. Mike.
Yeah, come on, bro.
To be real, basically I was put in that situation. So, growing up, I had to take on certain roles
Of course.
because, for one, I'm the oldest of four brothers
You got
in
double
the system.
Yeah.
So,
I know about being oldest. Jesus.
my dad had stepped away for a minute, and basically to help provide, I was working at the time. So, money that we get in high school, whatever, is okay. I want to buy this, I want to buy that to, look fashionable.
Right.
But in my situation, it was, let me get this to my mom so that, we can still have food on the table, or, make sure the lights stay on, or, whatever. So, it made me kind of grow up faster. So not really having the mindset of wanting to be a child or adolescent, going through high school or graduating high school, going into college. So, I understand, that portion of it.
So to ask you this question, like, how did that trickle? Like, did that trauma, give you trauma at any point? Like,
No, I think I'm just built different.
Ah,
And when I say that is, some people go through stuff growing up and it traumatizes them and it changes them as they get older. For me, it changed my mentality as, if I get a family, I'm not going to do this, or I'm going to make sure that, regardless if I make a mistake or not, I'm still going to be the head of this house. So I'm still going to make sure I provide and make sure everybody is satisfied and everybody's happy. So, not saying all men the same way, but some could just fall out of place and
it's real.
not want to take on certain responsibilities because maybe they felt like they did it when they was a child.
They feel
like a husband
either you
before a
feel
husband.
jaded or you feel a sense of responsibility.
Yeah.
Like you're responsible to know what this happened to me when I was younger. It's not gonna happen to my family. You know what I'm saying? Or you feel jaded, like, you know what? I didn't get to live my life back then, so everybody now, like, I'm gonna do me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't take the responsibility, and the cycle happens again. Maybe you become a father, and you be like, you know what? I got it out the mud. He can get it out the mud.
Right.
Just like I did.
Right.
So like, it's either you taking the responsibility or you feel jaded. Like, I grew up. My father was not in my household. I had a stepfather, and I didn't appreciate him until I got grown. Even though, because he wasn't like us. Like, he wasn't like my mom and me, where we were happy-go-lucky and nothing got us down. He was like, go to work, come home. He don't have no real, like, dealing with us. Like, it was just like, all right, whatever. But me and my mom, we was happy and we did everything. We wasn't rich, but we was hood rich. Like, we thought we had money because we ain't really want for nothing. But until I got older, and I was like, you know what? He did, and you learn somebody's background. Yeah. Like, once I learned his background, how he was treated as a child, and how he grew up, I fully understood why he was the way he was. And like, that understanding came to my mind. I was like, you know what? Be you. I'ma love you regardless. And our relationship is great because I accept him. Like, and he's still the same way, but my interaction with him is different. I'm not giving him attitude because he's somebody that he can't. I mean, he old, so he's not changing. Right. But my outlook to him is like, you know what? I'm gonna treat you different because I know how you was, and I'm gonna treat you the way I wanted. Like, when I have kids, I want them to be like, hey, that's my granddaddy. Like, but my real father, I see my real father maybe twice a year. Wow. And going to his house during the summer, and he wasn't really in our life. Like, he would call every once in a while, but I still loved him as my dad. Of course. Yeah. It was just that was the relationship. Right. Yeah. And I said to myself, my father had kids when he was 16, 19, and 4 on and on. You know what I'm saying? And I told myself, that's not who I want to be.
Absolutely.
I don't want to. I said, Lord, I don't want to have kids till I'm ready to have kids. Until you're ready for me to have kids. Like, I don't want to just have these kids just spread out and not being able to see them. I want to be in the house with my kids. I want to raise my kids. I want to see them every day. So, like, that was a big part of me growing up. Like, saying, you know what? I'm not about to sleep with this girl, because if I sleep with her, she gonna get pregnant, and I know I'm not about to be with this girl. So I don't. And I seen people with baby daddies and baby mamas in the child support system. Like, I'm not trying to go to court. Yeah. I'm not trying to pay you. I seen my child support check come in. Yeah. Like, cause I would get a child support check. Yeah. And I was like, I don't want to have to pay this money to somebody. Yeah, that's like, real. And like, the kid not get all the money. Like my mom gave me my money, but it was just like. She was like, hey, let me hold this. Right.
Yeah. One thing I do want to say, shout out to my parents. They have been married 38 years.
Let's go, man. That's huge.
Let's go.
That's huge. But before, I know you got a question. Before I do that, but I feel pressed to do this. Mike, I want to give you your flowers, bro, because you said something, man. That responsibility didn't traumatize you, and you feel different. You definitely are. And like y'all know me, I'm honest, man. I was given that responsibility too. My father left early, and then I lost him when I was 16. He was murdered. And so I didn't have enough identity in who I was to even put myself in a position to take on that type of responsibility. Now, mind you, my mom and my father, when I was conceived, they wasn't married. You know, they were on and off, you know, things like that. So it wasn't the best environment, you know what I'm saying? But for you to be able, as a youngin', to take on that type of responsibility, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure, you know, learning who you were, you know, learning who you were going to be, it's a difficult path for any man. You dig what I'm saying? But the fact that you were able to do it, it didn't traumatize you, bro. I'm sorry, I got to give you flowers, G. I do. I got to give you flowers, man. That's huge. That's super huge.
And it was still, you know, my dad instilled that in me. Yeah. You provide for your family. You're supposed to be the man of the house. There is order within the house. So, you know, in every marriage, there's going to be issues. you know, it's just part of life. But you know, that's I guess that me being put in that situation, I was built for from him, even though you know a situation came out between them, you know, where they had to take some time apart. But you know, there's a reason. I don't think this is off topic right now, but it's a reason why God puts everybody in their place as being the oldest child or being the youngest.
Yeah.
You know, I'm built different where I can handle certain things, being able to grieve when someone passes away. You know, certain things like that where, you know, you got my sister who's a baby, who's, you know, if she had a pet hamster and it was sick, she was crying for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
You know, so it's, you know, but that's just how she's built. Like she's built where she cares for everybody, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? So.
Okay. So after you come from a home like that, do you think men take enough time to be with themselves and God before we get in a relationship?
No.
Oh, I did.
No.
I did.
Listen,
Okay, so here
I did.
Can you say the question one more time? So I can.
So basically, for backgrounds that we have, okay, or did not have, whatever. But do you think men take enough time with God? Because I gotta say with God, because He's the one who's training. We don't have a father, so He is the Father that's substitute. He's our spiritual Father or heavenly Father to guide us. Do we take enough time with Him to be able to develop our skills of ourselves and knowing who we are and how we're supposed to be? Because it's parts of it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're gonna go for that little part, and then God give you a female, and you be like, oh, I see it, and you're gonna grow with that part. But do you think we do the first part correctly first, and then?
No, I know.
He like,
no. That's what I said.
I'm jumping.
So listen.
We literally can talk about this.
Nobody ever talks about this though.
We don't.
That's why I have to bring it up.
We don't.
So,
Listen.
And why? Let's be real.
Y'all like they all rest. Be real.
Be real about it and say
set the
what
clock.
it is.
Set you right.
Hey, what time is it? We got. This might be a whole different
That's what I'm saying.
podcast.
We have to
This
do
might be.
part two.
This might be a different podcast.
Dang, dog.
Dang, that's crazy. So, I'm gonna say no,
Okay. I'm gonna tell you my answer when y'all done.
and then I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
So, I've been in our relationships.
Yes.
My longest relationship is probably outside of, you know, being married 6 years was probably 2 years.
Okay.
2.5 years.
Okay.
But God was never in the picture. So we
Been there?
we never went to church. I did. We never went to church together. She did. We never went to church together.
Okay.
Right? That relationship was built on lust,
Come on, talk about
built
it.
on
Right.
looks,
Talk about it.
built on
Hey, to open up a can of
everything.
worms.
But let me ask you this: to add on that,
Mhm.
do or why? And I can answer that. Why do we cover? Why do men have checkout points? Because a lot of time we use sex, porn, masturbation to cover the responsibility when we're going through a stressful moment. Because we know there's a lot of females we probably shouldn't have been with, but it's a pacifier for us to deal with life while we're trying to be this man. Why is
Because
that?
you get a release.
Okay.
You get an emotion. You get a, like when you masturbate and you get that release, you be like.
Okay, listen, because we do this. Before we go to that, we need to answer that.
Okay,
that's
okay.
why. Because no, seriously, that like you said, I'm gonna put it on the. I ain't got no timer, but I'm just saying. Listen.
Just so flag 'em. Just
Yeah,
flag
this is
'em.
what I'm saying. So we gotta talk about
It
this.
was no. It was no.
Okay.
From the beginning,
Okay.
right? Me and that girl, she wanted to end the relationship. You know, so being with somebody for so long, you got feelings.
Yeah.
They gonna stay there. That's just a part of everybody. Those feelings not gonna really go away.
Right. Yeah.
So in that time of us breaking up, June, I meet my wife Alicia in July.
No way.
Right?
Wow.
So in that time now,
Right. That you already know. I swear to God.
Wow, that's what's up.
I got this girl who, in my eyes, and I still do on the pedestal.
I agree.
Which is my wife, right?
Right.
But then in the back of my mind, I'm gonna say this. My wife was a virgin when I met her.
Wow, that's what's up.
Was a virgin when we got married.
That's what's up.
All that type of stuff.
Wow.
In the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, I got somebody who I can get anytime I want to.
Ooh.
So you played the field.
Jesus
Or-
Christ.
I'm not gonna say I played.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
not-
you didn't.
in my mind.
Yeah,
in my
I'm
mind.
saying. Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, I got this girl who is perfect.
Yeah.
That to me could do no wrong.
Real talk.
And someone I can see me spend the rest of my life with.
But she gave you the spiritual side you were looking for, in a sense.
She gave me the spiritual side I was looking for. And still is, because that's
awesome.
I'm gonna be honest.
That's awesome.
It's still hard for me to pray with her.
Interesting.
I can pray with myself and say whatever I want. I can pray with my daughter. I can say whatever I want.
Mm-hmm.
But when I pray with her,
interesting.
It's just like I don't have the words to say, and it's hard. So that's what me and her battle now when it comes to our spiritual growth, is being able to pray together. And my mind is to not be able to think what she's actually thinking. Am I saying the right things in this prayer to make her think that I'm doing it right? But in my mind, and she tells me all the time, but I gotta be able to change my own mind, is that it's not what you say, it's what God is hearing from you, coming from your heart. Whatever comes out of your mouth, is something that it's a prayer regardless.
Absolutely.
Even if I say, Lord, I thank you, that is a prayer right there.
Absolutely.
But me being that's still another whole
That's a whole nother podcast.
So listen, okay, so back to the topic. So then
I got 3 podcasts.
I got 3 episodes.
So then we going my mind is going back and forth. Where do I want to still try and make something work, or do I build on something that I see that's about to be amazing, or whatever, right? So in this time frame, I met Alicia, but I was still talking to my ex at the time, and it was me going back and forth.
I'm
now,
sorry, my girlfriend is making face because you're literally talking about me and her.
I'm over here cracking.
I know,
that's why I told Lisa. I was like, me, this guy is basically the same. I hang out with him anytime. So anyway, so I got to a point where I wanted to still put energy into my ex because of time and all that. So I was like, yo, let's go to lunch. And her response was no. So I'm like, all right. So then we go by the next Saturday. She was just like, yo, let's go to lunch. So my mind was like, no. But before that, I told Alicia, and because Alicia's spiritual and I can relate to her on that level, and my ex really wasn't, I could, I told her, I didn't tell my ex this. I said, listen, I'm gonna leave both y'all alone for a week. I'm not gonna talk to none of y'all. I'm not gonna text, none of that. I'm just gonna pray, and I'm gonna let God give me the answer of who I want to be with. So the situation was that within that week, I think that was a Thursday, we had a conversation. That Friday, that's when I asked my ex to go to lunch. Even though I said I wasn't about to have no conversation with both. So she said no. So I'm like, okay. Then the following week, she came to me, my ex, and was like, yo, let's do lunch. But in my mind, it was more so like she wanted everything to be on her time and not mine. So then I was just like, no.
Jesus Christ.
So then I went to church this was a Saturday. I went to work. I went to church Sunday, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm just like, I know what I want. I know what I want.
Good God Almighty.
And from that point on, yes, I still had conversations with my ex because we were still friends, but I built on what I have now.
That's beautiful.
And then, like, me knowing, we met in July 4th. And then she became my girlfriend in December, which I asked her in front of my parents at IHOP after church. Then she went to church with my family. And then, which I still got the receipt that my mom wrote on. This is when the Michael Ashley Shabir was.
So nice.
Anyway, hey, my mom dark skin. So then come July again, I asked her to marry me. So not within a year, she became my fiance, and then the following year she became my wife. See, we've known each other 8 years, but we've been married 6. It feels like that's the person I've been with since I've been dating.
That's huge. What is your story? We need to go ahead, because we all answering it. You need to know. We need to know yours too. We need to know everybody's.
I'm glad I'm good with my wife, bro. and she know all my stuff.
Yeah.
Cause my story is.
Cause so we were talking about, do men spend that time after something breaks up or anything like that. I know for me, we would have to have somebody in the middle because our stories are that similar.
Yeah,
because it was just
super
So E, go ahead.
I mean, my story, it just take me back to my 21st birthday. I got saved.
Mm-hmm.
I accepted the Lord. I accepted the Lord as my Savior on my 24th birthday.
Yeah.
24th birthday. Jesus, me and you, good. I'm thinking like, oh, I ain't going to hell no more. That was me. Yes, I'm good. I'm not going to hell no more. Life is about to be amazing. So I'm like, no more trials and tribulations.
Yeah.
I ain't going to hell no more. That's all I cared about.
I'm safe.
I'm safe, right?
Hey, get saved on my 24th birthday. Living life with the Lord. Going with the Lord, going forth. Meet a nice young lady. Not thinking nothing of it. Just being a friend. She like, oh, I'm breaking up with my boyfriend. Can you come help me move all my stuff? For sure, I'm that guy. I'm soft. Come on. I'm not thinking of nothing. So I'm helping her move our stuff, but I'm like, she nice. Like,
so I ain't going to hell no more.
I'm talking to her. Next thing you know, a relationship develops. I'm like, oh God, you sent me my wife. Yes, God, thank you, Jesus. So she like, blase, speak. One thing leads to another. One thing leads, and you're like, oh, you want to go to church? No, like I love God, but I don't like going to church. I'm like, oh, that's okay. I'm a guy. We gonna get it there.
Which is never the case.
She like, well, you want to come over? Yeah, for sure. Come on, you can help me study because she was going to school for something, for business. And she, like we said earlier, she was like, well, you come help me study because you smart. I'm like, oh, she believed me. I don't know nothing about no business, but I can help her study. My dumb butt. One thing led to another. And we studying anatomy and physiology. But I still love the Lord. I'm like, well, Lord, I failed this test, but I mean, I feel like I'm gonna be with her. So like, this should be my wife. So we all right. So one thing leads, we just in this whole sexual relationship. I still love the Lord. She like, I'm still staying on and off with my mama still too. So like, she like, I don't think a man should be staying with her mama. With their mama, I'm like, you know what? You might be right. Come on. She's like, well, you can come stay with me. All right, you right down the street anyway. I'm not being led by the Lord at all. At all.
My credit.
At all. Like, I'm not nothing. So I move in with her and we having a great time. I'm still trying to get her to come to church. I'm going to Sunday school. I'm teaching Sunday school.
Man, you know everything.
I'm doing all the stuff. But she's just like, nah, it's not happening. So God was like, hey, what's it was like one day it was just like, hey, this probably ain't it. This ain't it. And I'm like, what, God? You try to bargain with God, like God. I mean, but we had 2 years in, God. Like if you got something better for me, then like it should be there. Like I mean, like what I'm gonna do? So she broke up with me, and I was like, dang. I was like, and then after she broke up with me, like I was still at her house. She like, you can sleep on the couch. I'm like, bruh, how that's about to work? Like we've been, and you talk about I can sleep on the couch. Sleeping on the couch.
This dude a
fool. So me, I love God, but he done delivered me a little bit. I got this string of pettiness in me. For real, like I had this string of pettiness.
I can already
So
see you about to go.
You're not.
I already know what you about to say.
No. So she was like, well, you can sleep on the couch for like a month until you figure out where you want to go or such and such. And like we had been looking at apartments and stuff like that to further our relationship, and we was gonna move to Southfield because we was in Brownstown. No, we was in Taylor. And so the day it was over because like she told me I could sleep on the couch, but I was still going like,
of course.
But the day it was just like
It's clapping.
over. The day it was over, I was like,
Dog, this dude.
no, I'm serious.
No, you're right.
The day I was over, it was over. The day it was over. I was like, you sure you want to do this? Like, you sure? Like, it's over? She's like, yeah, but you can have a month to stay. And I was like, all right. She was like, I was like, you sure? She's like, yes. That day, I called my brother and was like, hey, I need to come stay with you for 2 weeks. He's like, yeah, what you talking about? Come through. That day, I packed up all my stuff, went to my brother's house, didn't answer the phone again. Like, she calling like, where you at? What's going on? What's going on? I'm good. You good? All right. You have a nice day. Me being even more petty. The apartment we went to go look at together. Yeah. I moved in that boy. And but that was the biggest blessing, in my life.
Yeah.
I swear, in my life, because in that apartment, that's when I solidified my relationship with God.
Too.
I'm talking about 4 years of not being in a relationship, just me and God, like me in the living room, just nobody, not even thinking, like I wasn't even thinking about a relationship, like because that ended, and I was like, well, because I loved it, but I knew I needed to have that relationship with God, so I took that time to get in God's face, to study the Word, to learn and try to figure out what is it that Eric needs, what is it God is requiring of Eric, how does Eric want to grow in God, you know what I'm saying, and what does He lead me to, and I went to, like, once I solidified myself in God, I knew I wouldn't fall into the pitfalls of what I just fell into when I was first saved, you know what I'm saying? Like, you couldn't come and be like, hey, this is what we about to do, or I grew in my manhood, and I was like, know what? No, like I understood the word no, like, and how powerful it is for men and for women.
So you saw more of your leadership come out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So
and then
you knew what you wanted for yourself before God wanted to put you in a relationship.
That's the point I wanted to make all night, is that before we think we can be wanted by culture, by women, we gotta want ourselves first.
Yeah.
Not even want ourselves, we gotta want God first. You gotta want God first, and you gotta want yourself. You gotta put God first. You have to, and I guess that's why I ain't gonna give my story. Like I said, it's literally similar to this. Like, I'm talking about from leaving the ex to meeting the one I'm supposed to be with for the rest of my life and growing with her and all this other stuff. It's literally the same thing. But I wanted to do an episode, of understanding that the truth of the matter is, do not believe what culture is saying. Do not believe what the world is saying by any means. Men are still wanted.
Oh, of course.
They are. See, culture has done an amazing job. In trying to make men obsolete. But truthfully, and this, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to do like my boy E. Ingram says. I'm about to let him hang on this. I'm about to let him hang on this phrase. Y'all can't function without us. It's not supposed to be that way. I know there are going to be a lot of women, especially nowadays. I don't need no man. If he ain't got this, he ain't got. First of all, you can't describe a man for 2 reasons. Number one, you don't know what a man is. You don't know nothing about who we are. And 2, there is no simple definition to a man. Jason Wilson said this, and it changed my life. He said, the minute you give a man a definition, you have limited him. The true definition of a man is being whatever he needs to be at any given moment.
Yep, you're right, and that's
what
he is.
Being
Like,
a man
like
is.
What Mike said, like just randomly being able to do stuff with your hands, like just taking your hands and creating.
Listen,
like,
man,
you should never put a limit on anything you do. Like, oh, I can't. No, can't should be out your vocabulary.
Listen, I understand it, man. My woman, I know she need me. I just fixed some pipes in the kitchen the other day. I felt good about myself, but then she told me, she was like, you was spitting that. We was talking, had a conversation, and she was like, baby, you was spitting that wisdom, and gave me this look. I'm like, quick, you can't do nothing right now. I said, stop doing that. But you know what I'm saying? The truth of the matter is that, man, I need you to understand. This is another point I want to make, and we have to get out of here. is that it's not about just women wanting us, the world wanting us. Man, we need each other.
Yeah.
We do. And that's something I notice about men is that it's hard to be able to build relationships with your brothers.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying? But that's something else I want to do away with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we got to break that, but that's also because if you didn't have your father in the home, my father was in my home. Their parents still married, 33 years. But I got both of my grandparents, they still married over 50 years. So
amazing,
I've
bro.
seen it, good and bad. My wife's story is a little different, but if you don't have something, it don't have to be that, but something to familiarize yourself to see an example, you're gonna have this competition with that other man. Period.
Yeah.
Period. There's some things that even my good and bad my dad showed me that I think naturally we know how to go with our mom and be this different person with our mom, right? But as a man, we gotta learn, like, I'm not in competition with him, he's not in competition with me.
Okay.
I can share some things and be intimate in a sense.
Absolutely.
And that's that. And trustworthy. You know what I'm saying? Even if we leave, like, okay, I gotta run real quick, bro, watch my wife real quick. That trust, I think we lost it along the way.
Yeah.
And I think that doing something like this and getting around other men is gonna bring that back. But we gotta really be, prayed up and really seek that, because that's been stolen. In my opinion, it's been stolen.
So with it being stolen and just what are the effects of men being out of place on a woman? You know what I'm saying?
See, that's a whole nother episode, brother. We're gonna do a part 2. We gonna have to do a part 2. This was, and we gonna be back. These 3 brothers are coming back because, like I said, I have taken the responsibility, like I said, the mantle, and I'm bold enough to say it. You said it's a mantle that you pick up. I know that the mantle, Miles Monroe, is mine. I know that, and God has given me that, and so I take it on with full responsibility. I'm giving my life to this. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I didn't have everything that I've done all the way up to this point has come out of black. You know what I'm saying? To be able to be a man, to encourage other men, it was because I didn't have that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, who could I have been if I did have that? If I had my father in my life. Like I said, not having your dad, it defines you instantly as a father. Because you're looking like, I'm never not gonna be there.
Exactly.
You dig what I'm saying? So everything that I've lacked and everything, all my pain has made me this. That's why I don't get upset about my pain anymore, because I actually like who I am. I understand who I am, and I got identity now. You dig what I'm saying? And so we are here, man. I don't want to talk about it is here. And everything else that I'm trying to do as far as building up that foundation again, because the world is in desperate need of some good men, and not just good men, God-fearing men.
Yeah.
God-fearing men. And so we gonna have to do part 2. We ain't got no choice. We gonna have to do part 2, man. I want to thank all my guys, and again, it's serious, baby. It's serious, my guy. I'm telling you. And so I just want to thank, man, CEO Cuts.
Live from the bus.
Live from the bus, man, for partnering with. I don't want to talk about it, man. This is my brother, man. This is my guy, one of my best friends. I want to thank my guy, E. Ingram, man, for always being you, dog.
Listen, we filling the room up, boy.
You know what I'm saying?
Filling the room,
my guy. You know what I'm saying?
We putting Picassos on the wall.
You know what I mean? We create something here, and I just want to thank my brother, man, my new brother, my love, man. You've been solid from the first day I met you, dog. And this is gonna be a real. Just know I got your back, homie. I got your back. I swear I do. You know what I mean?
Shout out the business, my boy.
Yeah, so we got some businesses here, like, of course, yeah. Come on, man. Tell them what's going on.
So I'm a owner of GFM Motors, located in Detroit, 11505 Illinois. All general repair, everything. Anything you need done, we got you. If I don't know how to fix it, I know somebody who can.
Yeah, he definitely do.
He definitely do it. He that for real. Oh yeah. So it's a lot of partnerships that we got this season that I'm very excited about. We do have, if you guys have heard the opening to the podcast, the music that you hear is from OneTime Productions. OneTime Productions, Jeremy Turrentine. We want to shout you out, brother. I really appreciate you. This is actually my girlfriend's younger brother. And so it's family, so I really want to appreciate the gift. Also, y'all see the sweatshirt? This is another sponsorship that we got. RareLove out of Detroit, one of my homeboys, great brand, love what the brand represents. Of course, we're going to have some discount codes that I got you that's going to come from, I don't want to talk about it, but we getting all of that worked out. So be on the lookout for everything, man. I just want to thank all of the guys for coming through. Everybody who's listening, man, keep praying, man. I've had run-ins with random guys to walk up to me and tell me they're actually listening.
Come
and
on.
it's actually blessing them.
That's
So
what's
I'm excited about that. I know that this is the will of God to bring back the luxury feeling of being a man. So we here to bring that back. I love you guys, and I will see y'all in the next episode. Peace.
Peace.